thank you all for spending your late Wednesday with us. I know you probably could be in your room working, but we appreciate you coming together with us to talk about guided reading. This is a professional learning session that hopefully we can come back together and talk about a little bit more and improve student achievement here at Spillett Elementary. Some of us attended the Jan Richardson conference this summer. Who all attended that? Okay. So she was very broad when she talked about guided reading, and it was very informative. So we're going to kind of break it down into a specific part with some components that will help you in your classroom.
Okay. So today we're going to discuss why guided reading is important, not only now, but in years to come for your students. We're going to learn about what guided reading is. I know that there's different levels of expertise in our group today. We'll be breaking into small groups according to your grade level, viewing some demonstrations by Jan Richardson, and by the time we're finished today, you guys should have a complete lesson plan to take back to your classroom and implement in your guided reading. Okay? So, why is guided reading important? Being a high school guidance counselor and trying to come up with an idea for professional development, Lisa and I wanted to see what we could do that was connectable from the elementary to the high school. So a lot of what we do in our daily jobs is data driven. You guys hear that word data over and over and over again. So we did a little research, and we found in an article by the Ann Casey Foundation about reading, an early warning sign is that three-fourths of third graders who are poor readers are poor readers throughout their whole middle school and high school years. So that clued me in to do a little more research on seniors that I have right now at Willow Tree High School that lack a verified credit in either reading or writing. So what I did is I went back and looked at their SOL scores. 75% of those students also failed their third grade reading SOL. So there was some data to back up what this, data in our high school to back up what the article from Yale researchers also said. So that's something that we wanted to point out today, why guided reading is so important, to have those kids on reading level by the third grade so that they're not struggling throughout their whole entire academic years. Something else that was interesting in that article was that they wanted to point out what the difference was, or why third grade was so important. It's because up until third grade, they're learning to read. When they hit the end of third grade, first part of fourth grade, they are reading to learn. So if they've not formed that foundation, then they struggle. So that's why guided reading is so important, and what you guys are doing now is so important.
And Jan Richardson, the guided reading guru, we learned, she states, or she did some research, and it said that children who did not know all 26 letters, or not all 26, at least 26 letters, coming to kindergarten are likely to be reading below grade level in fourth grade. So I decided to go to a kindergarten class and get some data, and we found that half of the kindergarten class knew 26 letters, at least 26 letters, and half did not. And then I also talked with another teacher just before we started, and less than half of her kindergarten class knew 26 letters total. That's uppercase or lowercase. So what does that mean for pre-K, kindergarten, and first grade? So do you guys have any, what would the implications mean? What could we do to help that? We could start off in pre-K and...
For now that you know some of those links and data,
right?
What does that mean for our pre-K teachers?
They need to hit letters really hard in pre-K. The ID, the sounds, but mostly the ID, because if they don't know those 26 letters when they come to kindergarten, it's proven that they'll be reading below grade level in fourth grade.
Well, we were lucky enough this year to put 2 PALS ladies in pre-K to start working on the alphabet.
Good.
In our school, unfortunately, we can't get anybody over to you, but
What would be helpful is if that information was given to parents upon delivering their own child in the hospital. Because there's a gap between having your baby and then go into school?
Years ago, they went into the hospital and delivered a book. The hospital bring little packets from school with a book and things that they needed to do with the children. And of course,
How
that's,
neat would that be to develop again?
I mean, with that little bit of information.
Because if you're not a
don't
teacher,
know.
you don't know. You don't know this information. Ms. Halsey, off the top of your head, did you have anybody come into pre-K knowing at least 26 letters? You had 2. Okay. So you're hitting that pretty hard right now. And then, you know, these children that do not go to pre-K or preschool or have any experience, those are going to be the ones that kindergarten, they're really going to have to hit hard. And we have a lot of those, unfortunately, here in our county.
And we know there's also factors that affect, you know, our students' socioeconomic status, the stability in their home, a lot of those things.
But it's free to talk to your children.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
It's free to talk to them.
And you know what, even in utero, like, don't even wait till they're born, you know, start reading to them when you're, you know, encourage others to read when they're pregnant. That's a really good point. What about, as a first grade teacher, the kindergartners coming to you? Any, you know, any thoughts on guided reading and how important it is for them to be at a particular level? Is it reading level 5, is that right? Is that where they should be when they enter the first grade?
And you still have, I mean, they say that you can still read level readers with children that do not know their letters. You can use those books to teach from. So, you know, as first grade teachers, we, you know, we'll have some kids come in that do not know all their letter sounds, but they can read books. So we need to make sure we're incorporating that, even in pre-K. You know, the very simple books, kindergarten, that are repetitive. Maybe a book that starts with the same letter, consonant, sound. You can use those too to teach from.
Okay, so getting started with guided reading. Guided reading, most of you guys already know this, it's small group differentiated instruction that supports students in developing reading proficiency. It allows teachers to target specific learning needs, provides appropriate level of targeted instruction, and gradually reduces the support to promote their independence in reading. So that's just a definition of guided reading if you don't already know. Some of you guys have this book with you. Thank you all for bringing that. So some of you are familiar. We know, like I said earlier, there's different levels of expertise in here. Some of you guys indicated on your survey that you did for us that you use it in your classroom daily. Maybe some of you just hit on it a little bit depending on your grade level. So as we go through, if you are you know, a rock star with guided reading, feel free to share information with us. You guys, some of you probably already know that Jan Richardson uses a 3-step procedure to make guided reading easy: assess, decide, and guide. The assessments that you would use with guided reading gives information needed to make instructional decisions. These assessments that we're going to talk about here in a few minutes are going to help teachers decide on appropriate grouping of students, pinpoint instructional needs of your students, and then it's going to help you select activities and texts that would be appropriate for your young readers. The three-step framework shows teachers how to plan and teach powerful guided reading lessons.
Okay, so you've heard us mention a little bit the pre-A reader. And I want you to listen to what a pre-A reader sounds like. And then I'm going to ask you if you've had one in your class this year. A pre-A reader knows fewer than 40 uppercase and lowercase letters. And these students often lack concepts of print, such as left to right tracking and the difference between a letter and a word. Most pre-A readers need help writing their name, especially with correct letter formation. How many of you have encountered a pre-A reader this school year? All of us have. Good, good. That's
So
how we,
from kindergarten to first grade?
yeah, in pre-K. Yeah. So everybody's encountered one, so that's why we're going to focus on that reader, because we've all had one in our classroom. So what would be something that you would assess for when you have this child that you notice that can't write their name well, that doesn't know all their letters? We obviously need to assess
Letter knowledge.
letter knowledge. So what Jan Richardson uses, she says you need one thing to do that with, and it's a letter sound checklist. And we'll give everybody one to take with you. She says that you need this, and there's 1, 2, 3, there's 4. For 4, you can have 4 different students on here. You check to see what letters they know, and then you take the letters they do not know, they have not mastered, and then you use this to decide how you're going to group your students. All you need is this for your pre-A readers. And if you have the Jan Richardson book, it's in the back, but we're going to give you a hard copy of it to take with you. You want to hand this?
Sure.
And yes, this is gonna help you decide how you're gonna group your students. She recommends that you only have 3 to 4 students in your guided reading lesson with this specific type of reader, because the larger the group, you're not gonna get to spend as much time with those students. Melissa, they so and for instance, if you don't know what I mean by that, if you're doing this assessment and you notice that you have several kids that do not know letter S, T, R, and M, you would obviously group those students together and you would work on those letters. It's probably, you probably wouldn't work on all 4 in one day either. Do you guys think 2 reading recovery teachers, 2 letters, if they don't know there are a lot of letters, how many do you recommend they work on at one time?
If they don't know a lot, I would recommend just one.
Just one, focus on one letter.
With their known.
Yes, with their known. And we'll get into the names, working on with names too in just a minute.
Do some of you guys want to share your experience in using the letter sound checklists already?
Has anybody used this yet, this checklist? Okay. I'm sure you used a similar one at the beginning of the school year, because I got data from some kindergarten teachers. Do you have yours? Because this is not the assessment you'll give them, this is for you. When you give the assessment, these letters are going to be mixed up. So you're not going to give them the assessment A through Z in order, obviously. So this is for you. This is for you to go by, not to give the kids. I want them to be specific on that. So this is what you'll use to track what kids know, what letter, or what they don't know, and how to plan your lessons. So this is a great tool for those pre-A readers that come in not knowing their letters. Keep in mind that students learn best from kinesthetic and tactile experience. So we put some things at your tables. For instance, the trays that you've been provided by title. They keep the letters in the order, the alphabetical order, so they can quickly pull down what they need to. If you call out a letter B, find a B, pull it down, and so forth. Whiteboards, dry erase boards with markers, sorts, the alphabet chart where they're pointing and saying the sounds. So keep all of this handy while you're teaching. Don't just show them flashcards. They need to have something in their hands.
All right, moving right along. So some of you already know that there are 4 components of guided reading. The 4 components in the pre-A lesson plan, which we're focusing on today, builds essential literacy skills for a pre-A reader. The 4 components: working with names and letters, working with sounds, working with books, and interactive writing. So those are the 4 components that we're going to look at today. We may or may not get to interactive writing, just depends on our time frame. But we have provided blank lesson plans for you to use. We're going to let you split up into groups based on your grade level and watch the videos and demonstrations by Jan Richardson. And then we have given you also directions to work with your group on.
This is what the directions look like.
So what we're going to do is we are going to watch a component together as a group. We're going to discuss it for a few minutes, some of the things that really stand out to you. And then you will break up into your groups, watch a demonstration based on your group that you're placed in. And then we'll come back and discuss that as a whole. If you guys feel excited enough about this that you would like to do a role play for the whole group, make it a little more fun, demonstrate learning, we would appreciate that if you're interested. If not, we'll come back together and just discuss information that you want to share based on your individual component.
And we're going to work on working with names. It's the first part of your lesson plan at the top. And you will only do this for children who cannot write their names in correct letter formation. Once they can do this component, you won't teach this component in your lesson anymore. But that's what the first video is going to be about. So after we watch it, if you can come up with an activity that you would do with the child, write it on your plan to work on their name. And she's going to do an example for you.
Boys and girls, I want you to trace your name, and remember to say the letter when you trace it. Go ahead. Start at the top. That's okay.
She's got her assessment handy. You can see at her table of what letters the children do not know and have not mastered.
And that letter is a S. Keep going. Beautiful, right? You do have a Y in your name. And that's this one. Oh, start at the top. And that's one of these Keep going. Oh, now you can add a different color so you can make it look like a rainbow. Okay? Ramina, tell me your name. Beautiful. Oh, Jane. Good. Do another. You did on a rainbow. That's right. Okay. Start at the top, buddy. Finish like and that's the letter. Good. Why don't you do it in red now? Did you do it in blue? Okay. Go ahead and draw it in blue. Right. No, don't erase it. Just write your name in the other color. Okay. Let's try that blue again. Okay. We're gonna go around. Okay. Try this one. Oh, start at the top. Come down. Like this. Down. And then come back. Pump.
Make sure you model if they're
Try
doing
again.
it wrong.
Start at the top.
Take their hand and model the letter formation.
Beautiful. Start at the top. Good job.
I have 2 ends.
You do have 2 ends. Are you finished with that? Which color do you want last? Purple. Okay. Very nice. Oh, and then when we do it, we're just going to go down and across, okay? Say A. Good. Start at the top. Say the letter. No, we're not going to take those home, but you can take your name home. Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to have you stop and you can erase it.
So discuss with your group how you would work on names if you were teaching guided reading. And remember, it's just going to be a couple minutes. What would you do?
I've done the puzzles. And put them in order. And we still do the rainbow writing. In my low group. My other group that part. My low group still doesn't know. Makes it better than just tracing.
Yeah, they do.
I still do it in my It makes it, I have magnetic letters, I have capital letters. Now, like, I have 6 of them. You know, 2 of them know the letters in a name, but one of them has like 3 different letters in his name. Like, we're just telling them I have a good and 2 are in that group, and 2 of them was put on the client.
And then they can write directly on the paper.
She doesn't, but she has gained letters because we add letters to the chart. She does not know that. Just like, how do you miss the A and the Z? I don't understand that. How do you miss the Z? She does not know that. She says, and I'm not really sure. Not even.
And then we
saying, oh, it's not a
So everything is in isolation when she sees it in her name.
It doesn't. She doesn't know. You know, you're supposed to say A, but you get the magnetic letters A.
Yeah, but there's a plastic cover too that's still further.
I call her both, but she has to write that down.
Everybody has it.
She should know the A or the B.
Okay, so is there a group that would like to share with the whole group some things that stood out to you about working with names that we can jot down on our blank lesson plan? Anything they'd like to share?
Molly?
Oh, you're looking around. I do the puzzle, the letter name, the name puzzle.
Like,
Yes, and I've cut it apart. You give it to them first, cut it in 2 parts at the beginning, cut it like in half, and then they just put it together, and you can practice their letters. And as they get better at recognizing their name, you cut it in smaller parts until it's every letter, and then put it back together.
So it progresses, it gets a little bit harder
Yes.
each time. That's a good idea. That's why I made these. And if they can take these home, keep them in an envelope in their desk. I've done that too. Anybody else? How do you work with names?
I also do the name puzzle, but after they tell me the letter, or I help them tell me the letter, then we trace on top of it.
Like she did with the rainbow writing?
But we do it with our fingers on
Okay.
the name card.
And I think it would be beneficial to trace it with your finger first, and then go through and trace it with the markers, to model it first, to make sure they're doing it right before they actually start tracing it. So,
And just for me, as a parent watching this video, I didn't realize that you're supposed to start at the top with your letters, so that helps me with my son who's in kindergarten. And to use their fingers, that just never dawned on me, that do that instead of using a pencil for the first time.
and just say the letter as they're writing it. L-I-S, you know, just say them, because it helps to keep it.
And something else that stood out to me, I guess, as a counselor, is the positive reinforcement that she gives all through that short lesson. She's supporting them and she's encouraging them, and that makes learning fun.
Definitely.
When I taught preschool, I did, the sand trays, and they would write the letters in the sand for the tactile.
Yes.
And I remember when I taught kindergarten, we made letters out of sandpaper, and they would trace around the sandpaper.
To
letters
feel,
as well.
yeah. And shaving cream, we've done that
Shaving
too. The
cream.
shaving cream on the desk, they love that.
Yeah.
Chocolate.
There's
Yes.
also an app on the iPads. We use Kid Doodle, where they can use their finger to make the letter, and then they can go back and play it, and they can watch it.
Awesome. What's that app called?
Kid Doodle.
Kid Doodle? Anyone wants to jot that down? Where they can write their names on, it's an app, and it will trace it back after they trace it.
And spell my name.
And spell my name. I think I have that one. Spell my name app. Awesome ideas, everybody. Good job.
So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna break into 3 groups, and we are gonna watch Jan Richardson demonstrations. I know that, did you say one for Casey?
Yeah, we pre-K kindergarten, and then we have first, and
Yeah.
then reading teachers. And
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let you guys watch a demonstration based on the component that fits, or component that we picked out for you essentially. You're gonna watch a demonstration, and then you're gonna talk together amongst yourselves to come up with how you would implement some strategies into your guided reading lesson plan. And then we're gonna come back together as a group and share that, so that you guys are helping the other groups with forming their lesson plan. And remember, if you wanna role play, do a little demonstration, that would be great. So some important things about these Jan Richardson demonstrations, and when you're incorporating it into your guided reading plan, they're very short, like 3 to 5 minutes on each component, because we know we can't hold their attention spans very long. So we've got 3 computers ready to go, one there with Annie, and then we have one there and one here. So you guys will split up. The video should be ready to go.
this one's gonna be the working with letters. Wait a minute, no, working with sounds. We've got working with books. So we were gonna do it by grade level.
Actually, this one is working with letters,
Working with sounds, and working with books.
working with books.
So
You guys
whatever
wanna
you
do
want,
that?
and then if you want to, if you will, jot down what you would do in your lesson plan, then we'll share it and everybody will have something to jot down.
If you guys want to use this to make donuts.
This one's, letters, sounds, and books. So if you don't mind, what works for you guys. First grade, do you want to do books? I thought it might be more appropriate. It's a little bit longer, but. Somebody else want to come with us? Hopefully we'll be, it should be ready to go.
Real nice.
She's putting those meeting prompts there, so it makes them think. And she's put her finger in the middle, and that arm is supposed to be on the paper. I have a free
Whiteboards, you see something that you can utilize?
Do you find it's hard to work with your small group because of the other kids?
Depends on which group you have at your table, which one's
This year,
yes.
That's something we may not get to, but if you guys want to watch it. Our kids pretty well trained to work in their own.
You might not do that unless you have a really high, you know what I mean?
It's like several weeks, it's time. I think we should go over the teacher, and she wings them.
She does, and she gets.
I like the way she does that.
Get it at the teach, better knowledge. Maybe I should have to have that management.
Yes.
If I were to go, and then I wanted to tell them because we everywhere, and I should say something.
Yeah,
have
so
a-
just use an opportunity to talk to me about you close up, but she does.
Yeah, they do.
Tomorrow.
Think about it, talk about it, think about it.
And this is
Use it.
and that's what they don't,
You don't say to do that.
in the right there, what they do then, they'll say, you had a.
Plant just a little, enough meeting.
No one is very repugnant.
They can carry the storyline, but there's enough work they have to do.
What's the process on it? Sure. But, you know, are working on next. And you might have a relationship, and they really can do it. What you'll have, like, they'll just switch, and you can have like pictures of what they can do, there could be a chart of your life. And they go to your, and you get a letter, and you, well, they're not, that's true. They get that, and they just do 4 different things, they're 15-minute increments. So they're getting those letters, you could have whiteboards, whatever you want to do, whatever you like, and they can get those all that, with whatever, you still, of course, need to teach your program lesson, you know, like read aloud, incorporate things like that too. But the rotation really does, it's just hard to find things like kids.
Because a lot of
You agree with that, like, you know, keep them on task when they're not with you, they're not with this. Yeah, there's no.
They jump back into it and answer questions. And it becomes.
No, they want to write it too.
And the answers, they'll continue to keep writing. But, you know, if somebody comes, they worry with, they don't know what you're talking about, we try to see. Because, you know, especially if somebody is on that developmental things, because if they come to deal with those things, then
that we have known that from school, but that was really successful in our reading groups.
And that's like, for example, like if you're supposed to be reading on level 5, you have a group that's reading on level 1, you have a group that's reading on level 3. They're gonna take the 3s, work with them first, take their questions.
Yeah,
That's why I'm there. That's one still in examinations from students and we can break them down.
You said
You send my you all mail, sorry,
Adding the motion.
the emotion. It could be a whole thing.
kind of was really kind of more slowly getting into his leg, but very much more. He's over here and I went, share it. Like that. Because they're getting the vowels. So I just showed her. Better off seeing
And you do you have level 1 already?
Yeah,
I need some level 1s and some level 2s and some level
And so I just showed her,
But I don't know if y'all have that.
yeah, we can,
I do. I
Yeah.
can add it to the calendar.
But see, with those children, I'm sorry, trying to just do it again from one start. That's why you're like, mine even knows the site where it's supposed to do.
putting her on the slide.
That's why it's done. I mean, it's not never been done any better, it never will be again, so.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to challenge them as you take them. So I challenge these children just to give them something on the extra challenge. And then that's the hard part, you know, I want to make sure everybody's
So what is the reading goal with that process? Before they go to kindergarten?
I don't remember what, I don't know if she did. But, yeah, he does that. He does like the opposite.
Like we liked, tell me, talk about.
And we like to encourage them. Yeah, when they answer you, just tell them what purpose it's in there.
Instead of just wording,
In the area or teaching that.
And then.
It was a very short goal was. It was the good pre-K kids.
I have the system reading, and I think that if they can read a book, we think that they know the difference between a word and a letter. And sometimes they don't know the terminology. And it's good for you. So to review that, so she would have those there's one word with a capital letter, like the reading service. You know, find me, show me a word, show me a book, show me a period, show me a question. Yeah, show me quotation marks.
I was nervous because I was expecting her to get it.
And I lost, but I really did a good job teaching them. This is so small. Maybe, it's gonna tell me if he wasn't, he
got it all. Because I think you're right.
Hey ladies, let's get back together in a whole group and discuss what we learned from our videos. We're gonna make a few minutes. These are Molly Dalton, courtesy of her, and she learned she has these along, okay? You still have them?
I got them.
Are these mom? Oh, they were yours? You didn't make them?
No, those, I don't know, those might be. I did leave them for you.
Lisa, do you all have any level 1 or level 2
Well, I
books
need-
that Ms. Halsey
And
could
all these
borrow?
are rhyming sorts, keeping them in a little container like this. They're so easy to find and pull out. You need Ronnie's Words beginning sounds.
Those are way better than zip show.
Yes, Molly, they're little coupon and index card boxes, so they work really well.
Okay, so, who wants to be brave and go first and talk to the whole group about the component that you watched the Jan reading?
And what you would do in your guided reading lesson to go along with that component.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
So we watched the video about working with letters, and Jan Richardson did 2 different activities. She had an alphabet chart, and she had a bag of known letters and a few unknown, 1 or 2 unknown letters. And their job was to put the magnet letter onto the matching spot.
okay, so they took a magnetic letter and they put
And they
it
had to
on.
identify it, say its name,
Okay,
J.
J.
And then put it onto the matching J spot. And she did that activity for 2 to 3 minutes maybe.
Okay.
And then she had them clear the board even if they were not done and put their bags away. And then she went line by line and she did find the letter and it was as fast as you can. So she'd say, find the C. And so they would quickly find the C, and then she would show them where to go on the next line, and she would say, now looking at this line, find the J, and they'd have to find the J. And they enjoyed that. It was only for about a minute
Okay,
before she moved on to the books. We talked about having a bag, and especially for the kids that don't know their names, putting 2 J's, 2 A's, 2 M's, 2 E's, 2 S's in the bag, and having them match them.
to this.
You know, just
Without
without the
the
chart.
letters.
just
Got it,
just-
just same
just
letters.
Same letter.
Okay, okay,
And having them trace it with fingers.
okay, all right.
Did I miss anything?
So do y'all need capital letters?
I was gonna ask, I only had one like set of capital letters. It'd be great, especially for the word I. That's one of our sight words, we don't have the capital I. We have plenty of lowercase, just not enough.
Sorry, Lisa, do you all, I know you've got a small set on the polyester paper of that. Do you all want us to print more just on a plain piece of paper that you put in a sleeve? So you have it for
You
like
did,
the whole group?
you did.
You did.
You've already.
You
given
already
us
gave
our
us 5 copies of those.
No, we have the Alpha Friends chart, plus we have that in small group.
Andy had
Okay.
ours.
All right, the first grade was wanting for a whole group, so
Oh,
we
I'm
were just
sorry.
curious if you all wanted them for. You don't have any? I left some for you, I thought, with something. I will make you some. I probably didn't.
Okay, so that was letters, right? Okay. And using this chart, there's tons of different ways you could use our alphabet chart, and we've been provided these from Title. So, who did sound? Mary Lady. We would like to discuss, and make sure you jot down on your lesson plan the activity that, these activities, so you have something to take back to implement in the classroom. Sounds.
You do a sound sort. She did it in small group. I do mine in whole group. You do a letter that maybe you're working on C this week, we're working on C, and have the long pocket chart, and you put the C up there, and then you do another letter that you already know, and you give everybody a picture, and you tell them what it is. You don't waste time on them trying to figure out what it is. And we've already been through because we've already done that letter before. And they have to come up, tell us what it is, and say the letter that it begins with and the sound, and then put it in the pocket chart. I know that my kids love it. It's the simplest thing ever. But they also, it's good for math because it's like a graph, and they chart who's winning, who's tied.
That's a big
It
deal.
is so simple. It's a big deal, and it only takes, I bet it takes 4 minutes for a whole group. Quick.
And those are the big cards or the
I
journey?
I don't know, I don't know, it's Miss B stuff, I don't know where it's from, but I have like 40 for every letter, pictures of everything.
Okay.
But, I just pick out, half an out, and, I was telling them, we always let the letter of the week win, that's a big deal. So the letter of the week has to win. I didn't come up with that. They're like, he has to win today. It's the letter of the week. Okay, well.
And then little
You
swords.
can get those pictures off of the Journey's website.
Okay, the Journey's website has them, and then there's these sorts too. I have a Words Their Way book that has some good sorts, but these are, just ones you can do at your table during guided reading, just pick a couple, door, the beginning sounds, so.
We have some magnetic ones downstairs
Okay.
that if we would be willing to, yeah, I know you could use it in your small group.
Okay.
That's got.
Pictures, you're talking about pictures on
There are pictures on the magnet.
That'd be perfect, yeah.
Sheet, you could do it.
Yeah.
They're already bagged,
Okay.
but you'll have to go through,
All right.
I don't know that we have enough for everybody, but there are some sets. Maybe people could double up. Share.
Can I chime in about tapping syllables?
Sure.
So, I help her each day, and their job is to sit in the pink chair and spy all the people making the choices, and when we're doing our morning meeting, and they get to choose 3 people each time, and I have a bazillion stickers, and I put a sticker on their hand, and so, like, if I put a pumpkin on their hand, I say pumpkin, and we clap the syllables, and we go pumpkin, pumpkin, 2 syllables, and just that activity helps them. I mean, they're just
That's a great idea, like with stickers, because we all have a gazillion
a
stickers.
bazillion stickers, and so I just put it on their hand, and they pick 3, and so like during the morning meeting, we get through like 9 different kids that get a sticker.
And that would be easy to do during your guided reading lesson, quickly give them their sticker, have them look at it, practice it, and then just do that as your opening.
Which we would thank you all, because that is a hard task for the Read Recovery students to
Okay.
clap syllables. And it's-
Awesome. That's a great idea. Thank you, Annie, for sharing that.
And
Thank
if
you.
it's an easy picture like a cat, we'll clap cat, 1 syllable, and then I say, okay, put the gum in your mouth, we're gonna pull out the sounds. At. And so I say, that's different than syllables.
Right.
So
Say
that-
it slow.
Right.
So is there another strategy where you count the syllables on your arm? I've seen that somewhere. Are you guys aware of that?
You might run out.
It's like you sound out the syllables and then you say the word. You sound it out going down and then you say the word coming back up.
I saw that somewhere too, but I don't know where.
I think we actually saw a video on one of our classes.
Yeah, I think we did.
Start
But
it
you
out
have to
using
make
your
sure that you're going to the right direction. Cat, because if you go this way, it's backwards. And we had to watch a video for class, and we had to critique a teacher, and that's the thing. I don't think I caught it. Not many people caught it, that she was going backwards, but you do, first, when we're teaching those, left to right, yeah, concepts of print, All right, and the last group, books. Any thing that stood out on the video that you would incorporate in your guided reading lesson?
Oh, well, there was a couple, one of the things where she introduced the book to the students, and she had them talk about it, so they were using their own language and, flipping through the pages and talking about what was going on in the book. We really liked when they answered in an incomplete sentence and just gave her a short answer. She would ask them to tell her in a complete sentence, and if they weren't sure of how to do it, she told them what the sentence was and then had them repeat it back to her. So we really liked that. When they would get excited about something, she would ask them, she would say, "Talk to me about it." So we like that language, "Talk to me about it."
And I love the complete sentence. We rush through so much, sometimes we don't give them a chance to even answer in a complete sentence. And that's important because we expect them to write complete sentences, so we need for them to speak them too. That's a great point.
Teach, at the end, she said, "Let me teach you one thing." And I like the way she said teach, because a lot of times I'll say, "Let me show you something." But when she says, "Let me teach you something," it is more important than show.
There's power in that word.
Power in that
Yes.
word. For sure. Can you do anything? Good job.
Anything else that you guys saw or observed that you would like to share with the group as a whole? Some of you, some of the reading specialists, do you guys have anything else to add?
I think it's really, we're excited that y'all are embracing this and it sounds like y'all are using it.
Well, and the important thing is, it's not something you would do in isolation. It's a part of a balanced reading program in your class, and this is just one component. When you're practicing or using guided reading daily, it's only about a 20-minute component, and every day you would work with your students on one letter activity, one name activity, one sound activity, and then read a book together, write a sentence, interact. So those are some other things.
And I just want to add in, I follow this guided reading plan, so if anybody ever wants to come in and watch me do that, you're more than welcome. Or if you want us to come in and watch you, we would love to do that. I've learned a lot by coming in and observing other teachers to see exactly how they're teaching things, and I always learn something from every grade level that I visit, something that I can incorporate in my classroom. So we hope that we can come back together and discuss how you're implementing guided reading in your classroom. And if you have any questions after this session, feel free to get with us and we'll try to answer them for you.
The goal of this professional learning session is that there will be continuous learning. This won't just be another PD that you went to. This is something that we hope that you'll continue using and implement in your classes.